I'm with Paushali Lass from Germany, and you've just been to Israel and you launched the India X Israel Nexus. Now, Paushali, tell us what is that?
Right. So it's a platform to connect Indians and Israelis together across sectors and industries and civil society. I co-founded it together with my partners, Revital Moses, who leads a popular YouTube channel called Moses in Israel. She's an Indian Jew based in Tel Aviv, as well as Joyston DeMello. He has a company over 20 years for like a manpower company which brings Indian workers to Israel. So workers in the caregiving sector and in the construction work, and also now, especially since October 7th, Palestinian workers are not really that much wished in Israel. So, but there is a huge need that needs to be filled. So anyway, but our nexus is about connecting businesses and people, organizing regular meetups and giving an opportunity from people from both these countries to get to know each other on a personal level, yes, but also on doing actual businesses together, or connecting cultural actors and sports people wherever there is an opportunity, because ultimately what we realized is Israel needs more stable and reliable allies. India is one of the biggest allies. There is a lot of government to government relations happening, partnerships, strong partnerships, but we want to kind of like extended it to stronger people to people relations. Yeah, so that was basically the idea behind it.
So do both countries actually benefit from this relationship?
Absolutely. So, for example, just to take the manpower point, of course, there are jobs that Israelis won't do or don't want to do, and there is a real need. So that's where Indian workers can fill the gap. And the advantage of Indian workers is A, they're mostly English speaking, and B, there is no ideological baggage there. So Indian workers are hardworking people who come and work and maybe enjoy what Israel has to offer and go back. The Gulf countries are mostly based on Indian, built on Indian talent. You know, if it's like if you consider the UAE, the Indian expats consist of the largest expat population. And we all know how successful UAE has been in the last many years. And that is also across the sectors, you know, be it high up jobs or like more the blue collar jobs. So we want to get that to Israel as well. So of course, benefiting the Israeli economy, but also Indians, of course, like any Indian worker coming to Israel, especially in the like unskilled labor and blue collar jobs, they come and work and they earn in Israel like maybe 3 or 4 times what they would earn back in India. So recently I heard there's something like $4 billion in remittances from Israel back to India. So that's a huge amount, you know. So yeah, it's beneficial to both. And I think it's also beneficial, for example, in dispelling myths and misconceptions about each other's countries. So when Indian workers come to work in Israel, they experience Israel how it is and not how the media portrays Israel. So
Yeah,
there's that advantage as well.
that's important for them to see that. I imagine you've got maybe some Indians living in poverty in India, and they come here to Israel and live and get a really, really good wage. And this is where they can actually send money home to support and help their families. So
Yeah.
Israel is giving them the opportunity to make a decent wage to send and help people in another country as well.
Yeah. And is India, of course, you know, has a large population, has space and big countries. So um, Israeli industries can also benefit by scaling their production in India. You know, so they have the technology, they get their stuff produced in India. So in the defense sector, in the tech sector, there's a lot of opportunity there.
Well,
Yeah.
well, do both countries have great innovation?
Yeah. I mean, Israel, we know it's one of the best, like, I think it's got the second highest R&D expenditure per capita. And it's got such a fantastic tech and innovation ecosystem. And India too, it's developing more and more. It's becoming like a AI superpower almost. So you have the technology and innovation ecosystem really, which is supported by the government and is really gaining traction, and Israel is known for it. So yeah, it's a good meeting of minds really.
Yeah. What are you hoping to achieve over the next 30 years?
Well, we are certainly hoping to achieve more, stronger bilateral relationships through people to people connection, because of course, the embassies are there and we work closely with them. But I think drip irrigation and government deals are only one side of the story. A relationship between two countries is always carried forward by its people. So we want to see more tourism coming from India. We want to see more also for Israelis to go to India beyond, what they know already. Like after army service, many go to India and they lead a certain lifestyle or whatever. They know only one part of India, let's say. But India is so rich and diverse, so we want to show that side of India. But we are hoping that more Indian tourists will come and visit Israel to see really how Israel is,
Mm.
and yeah, and basically through stronger diplomatic and business relations, we are hoping to develop stronger ties between the people.
Mm. And now you launched this in Jerusalem, the India Israel Nexus. Tell us about the launch and who was there at the launch.
So we had a very successful, great launch party in Jerusalem, in the art district of Jerusalem. It was great atmosphere, and we had diplomats. We had the head of the Israel India Chamber of Commerce there as one of our speakers. We had Fleur Hassan Nahum, who's a well-known Israeli politician and media personality. She was the former deputy mayor of Jerusalem, and she's Israel's special envoy for trade and innovation. We had Kobi Shoshani, who was a former consul general of Israel to India and still part of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We had a few people from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, then defense writers and researchers, people from the Ministry of Defense, from academia, from civil society. We had different people. We had the chairman and heads of the Indian Jewish Heritage Center. So we had quite a few people. Yeah.
So they must be really excited about this project.
Yeah, they are. Because they all understand what we are trying to do, very excited because, of course, there's the Chamber of Commerce, there's the embassy and all, but we want to amplify their work and we want to be their sort of people-to-people arm, So, we want to have regular meetups and So what we realized is that there is a lot of people involved in the India-Israel space in Israel, but it's all very disjointed. People are here, there, everywhere, but no one organization that brings people together, and we are trying to fulfill that role. So yeah, people are excited.
This is going to be really great because it's actually building connections, but it's also building bridges between the two countries as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
Building bridges and hopefully also removing some of the misconceptions that people have about each other. And
yeah. What do you think each country can learn from each other?
Well, there is really so much because it's difficult to distill into one, because India is so big, so diverse. Also a place of coexistence for the large part. India is one of the few countries I've heard Georgia was also a country like that, but where the Jews never faced any anti-Semitism. And I'm talking about like traditionally, they never faced any anti-Semitism. And in India, there is a culture also of coexistence. There's all religions, all faiths, living together. It's got the world's biggest population. So totally different dynamics from a small country like Israel. But Israel is also equally diverse. And there's so much to learn, I think, from India in terms of managing population and diversity of population. But also from Israel, there's so much to learn in terms of defense and technology in fighting terrorism across the border. And Indians understand that. And actually, that's one of the reasons where modern India supports modern Israel so much, a large majority, because they understand they face the same jihadi terrorism across the borders. So they understand what it means to have terrorism lurking at its border. So, and Israel has so much experience in fighting terrorism. So there's a lot to learn from there too.
Yeah, Israel's constantly learning from terrorism, and when it sees terrorism, it has to adapt towards that. So any other countries all around the world that are struggling with terrorism, they can learn a lot from Israel, can't they?
Exactly. And also, I think increasingly it's the threat of urban warfare. It's no longer like armies fighting armies. It's terrorist infiltration. We've discovered so many of these like terror cells and all in India, which is sponsored people coming from Pakistan. And we know that Hamas is operating out of Pakistan as well. They have training camps in Pakistan. Hamas operatives in Bangladesh, so threatening India from both sides. So yeah, there's a lot that India needs to learn from Israel, and that's where the security and defense cooperation, intelligence sharing is so important.
How is Modi's relationship with Israel?
Well, as far as we know, it's very good. I mean, this fantastic visit that happened in February, which where also 16 or 17 MOUs were signed, and he also, when he came to Jerusalem, he spoke at the Knesset, of course, one of the few foreign heads of state who addressed the Knesset. And India was also elevated to the status of special strategic partnership with Israel, which only US has and Germany has. Germany, of course, because of its past. So altogether, it was a very not only successful visit, but Modi was so clear in mentioning that we stand behind Israel in fighting terrorism. He offered words of clarity and empathy and sympathy for Israel, what Israel went through on October 7th. And the relationship is actually very close between Modi and Netanyahu. On the other hand, India has a policy of neutral foreign policy, and India comes first. So India does maintain relations also with Iran, with China, everyone except Pakistan. So there is that as well.
Yeah, yeah. Are you excited about this project?
Yeah, very much so. Of course, it's very close to my heart. I'm very close to Israel, and I come from India originally, so it's very close to my heart. So it's not only close to my heart, it's a privilege to bring people from these two countries together.
What is your hope for the future?
Well, my hope is, of course, that there will be no need for fighting terrorism because we will have peace, so that's my ultimate hope. And India and Israel are both fighting terrorism together, so that is there. And my hope is really that we know, I'm a believer in the Bible, and I know that there will come a point where the nations will turn against Israel, and because Jerusalem. But we need to find allies. We need to find reliable, strong allies who will stand with Israel in those difficult times.
What's your website for people who'd like to know more about the work that you do?
Well, my personal website is just paushalilass.com, but we have for our India Israel Nexus, we are on LinkedIn, we are on Instagram, just India Israel Nexus. So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Paushali, for letting us know about this great, exciting work today.
Thank you for interviewing me. Yeah, thanks.